Hello, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. Last time we went through Agricraft and got up our mystical agriculture, using this machine here to breed up our seeds, all of which are now at 10-10-10 perfection. We built this little area over here to turn all of the essences from our seeds into goodies. Things like demon metal, the thermal blaze rods, and about as many materials and alloys as we could think to have, almost at least, are now fully passived, and we have about 1,000 blocks of most of those, which is very good. I hope that soon we can get enough items from our mystical agriculture to be able to shut off the quantum quarries, as I don't imagine they're particularly good for the world's lag. We also went through Astral Sorcery. We had got to the Tier 3 Starlight Altar here. We did attunement and some Starlight Infusion right here. Between episodes, I built a second one of these for Star Leather. We're going to do that eventually, and by eventually I mean today. As well as I built this machine here. This side will automatically size up our crystals by throwing them in Starlight here. Crystals, when thrown in Starlight, will grow over time by consuming the Starlight, at least until they hit a max size, and then they are picked up by this vacuum chest here. And this side will split crystals. So if we were to take any of these spare crystals in here and toss them in here, they would stay in here until they split into two, and then they would get pulled into the vacuum chest down here. By using this, we've gotten ourselves 8 celestial crystals, technically 9, but I've just attuned one of these to Visio, because I would like a celestial collector crystal, and it seems quite cheap. Alright, so let's replace this piece of junk with this wonderful thing. And we now should be able to link this to here. And this is very full of starlight. Wonderful. Even when it's hooked up to the lens, it still has this at full, which is great. So we can hold on to this crystal for, well, something. I don't know what we'd really use this for. So we have a few options now. First and foremost, if we want to get to the Iridescent Altar, which is something we certainly want to do, we have to progress through Nocturnal Powder, Stellar Refraction, and the Enchanter's Doctorate or whatever to get here. We also now have access to the Mob Loot Fabricator. This is a very big multi-block. Well, not very big, but very complicated. It also takes a Celestial Crystal, a floating one, so we need another one of those crystals for every single one of these we'd make. But the Loot Fabricator has a number of things we would want quite badly. Things like Automatic Hearts and Dimensional Sand would be very nice. Vengeance Essence is a must-have in my opinion. We will be making this probably before long. Gaia Spirits are very tempting. We have the various things from Lightningcraft. A whole ton of various V crystals. This will also be very nice. The Vethia drops might be useful. And there's a few other recipes in here that are worth thinking about, but I'm not really certain about immediately. I might make this later today, but for now we'll put this off. First though, let's make Nocturnal Powder. This seems relatively easy. The most expensive thing here is the Tenebrae, but I've since increased our Tenebrae backlog by quite a lot. It's not full yet, but I know we're going to need quite a lot of this in the coming soon future. It's just occurred to me I haven't talked about the docket today. I would like to finish Astral. I'd then like to build up Galacticraft in our galactic machines. I would then, after that, like to take a break to cry about how expensive everything will be, which is a very polite way of saying filling all the buffers. And then hopefully we get to go to the moon, or maybe farther. Who knows? Maybe a little bit of infrastructure will take us quite a long ways. Between episodes, I did do some building, however. I built this big old warehouse out back for our Galacticraft machinery. It's a little dark in here, but that's just because we haven't moved in yet. And we also have the rocket silo. I am not sold on how I feel about this. I think I want to do something more to it, near the top especially. This will probably change by the end of the episode, I imagine. Oh, do we only get 1 Nocturnal Powder from this? Oh no. Maybe that's okay actually. We don't actually need very much Nocturnal Powder, so I suppose that's fine. So now we need to make the Stellar Refraction Table. This thing is really cool. We can use the power of the constellations to give us over-enchanted books. Things like Mending 3, Sharpness 7, and the like. In particular, we need Mending 3, Power 7, Feather Falling 5, and Sharpness 7 to make the Enchanter's PhD, which is what we need to make the Iridescent Altar and upgrade our altar to max tier. So in total, we're going to want quite a few infused glasses. I'm thinking 5 or 6. We need 4, I believe, for the Enchanter's PhD itself, but there are a few things that I would like to get, well, over-enchanted. Things like Looting or Fortune seem very strong to have at the 5th or 6th tier respectively, and I would really like that. So I'm going to make quite a few of these. Well, not too many. Each of these does require 4 photovoltaic cell tier 4s. That was a tough one to say. Albeit we can just autocraft most of this stuff. Although we are running out of aquamarine, so I should probably get an excavator going for that. I probably should have set that up a while ago, but whoops. Well, before we get an excavator, this should hopefully be good enough. I hope that shows you the power of at least Fortune 5. You can only imagine how far Astral Sorcery's Fortune will take us. That one was very pretty. So we need Mending from Avitas, Sharpness and Power from Decidia, and Feather Falling from Visio. So firstly, let's kick it to night. And I suppose we can put this here. So we need some parchment. So then we place an infused glass in and parchment beneath it. So we need to overlay each of these. I believe something like this. Oops. Let's try again. How about like this? There we are. So if we take a book and toss it inside, it'll get refracted by the table and give us a Mending 3 book. I don't feel like we need Mending 3 on anything really. I feel like Mending 1 is plenty, but that's a piece of our Enchanter's PhD. So next we need to get Decidia and Visio. Alright, so we should be able to get our doctorate now. Yay, look at how smart we are. Alright, now for the Iridescent Altar, it's pretty straightforward. Just a bunch of stuff we made before. Any attuned celestial crystal I think works, it seems like it. And some spectral lenses, which is a bit expensive, but very doable. Alright, and let's get iridescent. Ooh. Wow. And I believe we just do something to this effect. Here we go, like this. I think it's working now. This will let us actually automate the Starlight Infusers properly, so I definitely want at least one of these. I think 2, because I think we can only have 1 per structure. It's a little pricey. These ritual pedestals are by no means cheap. Oh, we can actually use rock crystals. Okay, they're much cheaper than I thought they were. We have a few extra Eldritch pedestals from the Emptiness, so this is actually not too bad. The Dimensional Fracture glass we've actually crafted before. It's the glass over at the Thaumcraft area, near the Thaumatoriums. And the goblets are fine. So let's make like... oh gosh, how many of these do we need? So we need 2 ever-shifting fountains. So we're going to need 2 extra containment chalices, so we'll need 4 in total. So let's make 4 of these. And with night just about falling, we can... what am I missing? Illumination powder. Okay, that's fine. Very pretty. Alright, so now what we can do with these is if we set this here, and then if we give this in liquid starlight, it will automatically fill all of this stuff up. And the same is true of this one. So once we bring Applied Energistics over here, we'll bring, firstly, starlight into a storage cell. But secondly, we will be pumping starlight into those 2 containment chalices to automate these 2 infusers. Ooh, what have we up there? I was about to attune a crystal to Lucerna over there, but seems like we have something else to look forward to. We need a crystal attuned to Lucerna to craft the observatory, which is probably what we'll be doing very shortly. This is like a super telescope, which is why it takes 2 telescopes, and will let us see the faint constellations out in the far reaches of space. Oh, I think that shooting star burned up. That's unfortunate. Anyway, let's attune that one. And then after that's done, I'd also like to attune one to Decidia, so that will be another one of these celestial crystals. Well, actually, I don't think it does. I might be wasting that. Oh well. I think we can actually use like any rock crystal, if I'm not mistaken. So we can probably use some really bad ones. I'll grab this crystal here, and let's see if this one can go on. Oh, I wasn't sure if the magnet would be blocking that as well. Yeah, the altar seems to like it, so good to know. Ooh, that's very cool. I also plan on crafting an Irradiant Star. Or I guess this is the shifting one, so we can make an Irradiant Star. Ooh. We'll use this later. Once I get a bit more information about some of the stuff over here, then I'll worry about respecking and specking into something I really want. Anyway, the observatory is a lot of stuff we've, well, really just made. Things like the pedestal we quite literally just made a moment ago. But also this ensorcelled core, which is nothing too crazy, but it takes a lot of power, a hatch that we actually can't make yet. Thankfully, one of the upgrades to the Lightning Infusion multi-block is this LE receiver, which decreases the power cost. You can't see it because my GUI is a bit too big, but I already went and did that, so we're okay. We can just request one of these, and it's fine. Oh, never mind. We just need to turn the Undercreep spawner on. Very good. Let's get observing. Hello, quest. Oh, there we are. Now, we're probably going to want an actual spot for this, but, well, here's fine. As you can see, it's quite large. So we are looking for these faint constellations. We're looking for Alteria, Jelu, Alcara, and Vorax, but they're not often out, so we're going to have to spend a little while looking around. Isn't this UI so cool, though? I think so, at least. There's one down. I think we're going to have to cause it to become night and not become night quite a few times to get the other 3, though. And we do need to know all of them. For the Star of Revelation, the capstone of this chapter, we need an Astral Core, and this Astral Core needs to be attuned to each of the faint constellations, Alcara, Jaelu, Ulteria, and Vorax. And they have to be celestial crystals as well. So I should probably start breeding some more of these up. In the meantime though, I'm going to take a little bit of time, not exactly a break per se, but just to myself effectively staring at the stars and doing stuff. And when we come back, we'll probably work on Star Leather and automatic resonating gems, as well as just making this whole place a little bit more applied and energisticized. That's a word now. I said so. Alright, and we're back. I set up some infrastructure down here. I brought Applied Energistics over. We have an interface and a fluid interface into a set of phantom faces, many faces today. The fluid faces each lead into those containment chalices there and there respectively, so we don't need any pipes over there, and we get to keep it all looking very nice and clean. And I plan on doing the same thing with the phantom faces for items as well. We just have a pretty standard setup here, just level emitters on conduits. We just need to hook up the actual phantom faces. So like this, and we should start hearing noises going through soon. Yes, we just need a range collector over there now. So now we can filter Star Leather here, and Resonating Gems here. And if we hook up the storage bus, we should stop making Star Leather, hopefully, please. There we are. Our containment chalices stay full, and so do our drawers. Wonderful. So now we have passive Resonating Gems and Star Leather. And because we have Resonating Gems passive, we can then swap out this system over here, which is mostly just the same. I don't know if I showed this one before, but this is pretty simple. We just have a fluid interface and an item interface. This will request resonating gems after we're done sending all these rock crystals through. And all of these light wells pour into this fluid interface that we have storing liquid starlight on drives. Supposedly, shining starlight on light wells makes them more efficient. At least I read that in a book somewhere. So I'm hoping that's true. Maybe at some point we'll swap this out for a celestial crystal instead of a standard floating one. But for right now, this is fine. Also, between cuts, I got all of the 4 faint constellations attuned. So in order to get to this Astral Core, I believe it's called, we need a Resplendent Prism. Resplendent Prisms are very cool. When you craft them, they can give you boosts to specific enchantments that you already have. For example, this one right here is saying that it would give +1 to power and 2 to light pierce. So if you had a power 7 bow, you would have power 8, which is very cool, especially if you get a fortune one. That said, given the recipe, I don't particularly feel like re-rolling this very much. Oh, this is the reroll recipe. Never mind, I could be persuaded into re-rolling one then. Well, it does take the amulet slot, and our amulet slot's quite valuable right now, so probably not. Maybe we do. I mean, after all, Astral does give us a lot of hearts. I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyway, we need to make this one, which is a little expensive. We need 2 infused glasses, an impetus cell, and a whole lot of Desiderum. We need this prism lens, which we haven't made before, but this seems relatively doable. It's just a whole lot of lenses. I really should put a storage bus on that HDPE drawer, and probably upgrade it for that matter. Oh, I suppose we can do that now. Well, that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. Oh, well, that might take a little bit longer. I need a rock crystal attuned to Buotes, I believe that is. Well, let's fix that. Alright, and to finally finish off Astral, we need to do the Star of Revelation. This looks quite scary, but it's fairly manageable, I think. If we take off all the Starmetal and Illumination powder, let's see how far that takes us. Well, that looks a lot more manageable. 4 infused glass, 2 of these ever-shifting fountains, which is not too bad. We made the 2 extra containment chalices already. 2 of these celestial gateways, which also doesn't seem too bad at all. Yeah, this shouldn't take us very long at all. Yep, only about 10 minutes of crafting, if that. And now, a Star of Revelation. This star reveals the truth about the universe. Is there something outside? All this time I've been looking up finding constellations using the power of moonlight. No, the whole point of this was starlight, am I right? Why are you capitalizing moonlight? It was starlight. The whole crux of this was starlight, right? Anyway, why do I get wrath for this? Maybe it's just because I'm mad at the quest. Anyway, our final thing for this chapter is Galactic Ingots. So these are pretty reasonable. Just Starmetal and Resonating Gems, things we've mostly automated at this point. I actually still need to automate Starmetal fully. Overall, this seems quite doable for all that it's worth. Okay, so we probably want to buffer, I'll say 8 stacks maybe? That seems like a tolerable amount. So let's automate Starmetal. This is going to be pretty simple here. We're going to level emit Starmetal on redstone mode, torch off, and we'll have this run until we have, let's say, 512 Starmetal. Starmetal's not super expensive, so that's okay. Extract on brown, only while redstone signal is on. and we want to request ludicrous ore here. So we'll only allow 4 ludicrous ore in here at a time, because we don't want to buffer 9 stacks of ludicrous ore. That would be, well, ludicrous. Oh, wow. Wow, even during the daytime? Oh my. Then we can have all the star metal ore just come back down to this interface here. When the star metal goes in, it should go straight to ore processing. So now we need to actually passive ludicrous ore, which is not very hard. This is just an induction smelter recipe. And now we're producing ludicrous ore, albeit quite slowly, which is kind of strange. I feel like this should be going faster. I suppose it doesn't matter that much. Though we can also just put in a few augments. We'll toss in 6. Yes, that should be 7 times faster. Much better. We should also probably downgrade this. We don't particularly need that much ludicrous ore, and I don't imagine that will be our star metal bottleneck. But actually, will it? If anything, I think this would be, actually. So maybe we should bring this up to 4 stacks? We'll leave it at 4. So now we have passive star metal. While we're here, though, I should passive star dust as well, though. Great. I think that's almost all of Astral passive, basically. Ah, well, almost everything at least. So we should be able to just passive Galactic Ingots like so, and it looks like we're already making quite a lot. We'll leave this at 8 stacks for the time being. And there's Galactic, which means we've now unlocked Chapter 24. Oh boy. I must say I'm getting a little bit nervous at this point. Galacticraft, I believe, is when everything starts getting a little bit out of hand. And if not now, then certainly by Draconic. But one step at a time, I suppose that's the nature of the journey. So first we need Galactic Machine Frames and Tough Galactic Plating. So Tough Galactic Plating is 4 Iridium, Nickel, and Mithril plates each. That's quite a lot. And these take 32,000 micro-infinities, so I believe this is 5 seconds with a stellar capacitor, which is quite a long time per thing. So we'll probably want maybe 2 or 3 of these. And by 2 or 3 of these, I mean 2 or 3 arrays of these. Well, actually, before we get too ahead of ourselves with making galactic plating, we actually have just unlocked tier 4 seeds. We can make Superium now that we can make the Intermedium crystal, because we have Stardust. Albeit we unlocked that a little bit ago, but only recently did we get the Iridescent Altar. So we should probably look into getting a lot of these seeds. And I think we should really look at Mithril especially, because, well, we're going to need a lot of this. Oh, it looks like it's a solar eclipse today, which means Horologium should be out tonight. If you're unfamiliar, Horologium is the last dim constellation we have yet to unlock, and it's very powerful. The ritual effect lets you speed up time in an area, which is very strong when we want things to go fast. So tonight we're going to have to discover that and then attune some crystals to it. Thankfully, I've been working on quite the array, so I think I'm going to attune 2 crystals to Horologium. It's not the worst thing in the world if we need to come back and get another one, but I think 2 should suit us for the time being. So now we quickly want to attune some crystals. While I've been doing that, I've been collecting some mending books. These are very cheap for us now that we have the refraction table, because we can put these on these infusion crystals to make them repair very, very quickly. And I think Unbreaking might work on them too, which would be very helpful. I think Unbreaking would make them use less durability and thus have to spend less downtime being repaired, so we should definitely look into that. I think Ulteria is what we need for Unbreaking, so we should look in the sky for Ulteria, or when that will next come out rather. And I think I'm going to get a 3rd Horologium crystal. So here's the essence setup, and it's pretty simple. We just have some sequential fabricators here. We pull out the infusion crystals on each once they get about to half durability. They go into here and are repaired, like so, and go straight back in here to keep crafting. It's not the fastest setup, but it's, not slow. Currently we're at 11 stacks of Superium. We have Superium buffered to 32 stacks, Intermedium to 64, and Prudentium to 128. So hopefully that'll keep us supplied while we tier up through these essences. And once we get to Premium, I'll probably bump that to 64, 128, 256. Okay, and we're back a little bit later. I've taken all of the tier 4 seeds and I've put them in these rows here, and everything we can make from them is over here. This is a pretty big milestone for us. We got a lot of new stuff here. Electrical steel is huge. Well, not huge, but quite impactful. Geradium's quite nice. We actually didn't have a source of Ardite before this, so I had to mine some more. Vibrant alloy, we have basically infinite vibrant alloy now. That's really nice. Abyssal stone, we never have to go mining for anymore. That's really wonderful. Same thing for resonant clathrate and electrotine. We now have 38,000 mana steel instead of 1,000, and this is awesome. And we also have 23,000 mithril instead of 2,000, which is amazing. Mithril is very expensive, and I'm glad to no longer need it so badly. Elementium's another very, very good one, because it's just double mana steal, really. So this is 60,000 mana steal, or 60,000 mithril worth of elementium, which is really good. Abyssal Knight lets us get rid of another one of our mob spawners. Darksteel is, of course, a colossal one. We still have quite a ways to go before we catch up to our actual alloy smelter's drawer, but having this much Darksteel period is really, really good. This is probably a fabricator I want to throw some speed augments in. I might throw like 2 in all of these, honestly. And then Aether Dirt and Holy Stone let us finally have fully passive Living Matter and Living Stone, which is really good. And the gas tier recipe lets us finally get rid of that gas spawner as well. So a lot of spawners to rip out, and we've already turned off a lot of the alloy smelters. In the meantime though, pardon the lack of lighting around here, we had plenty of time to buffer up some tough galactic plating, so now we have a full drawer of the stuff, plus some extra on backlog. This is actually a bit faster than I thought it would be, which is really good, because I imagine this would take forever. So let's make like 10 of these galactic machine frames. I think we're gonna need at least 10 of them. And I already have the circuit fabricators prepped and ready to go. These weren't too bad at all. All of this stuff we either have passived or can autocraft. So next we need to make wafers. So these are a little bit expensive. These take silicon, which I'm not sure if we actually store. We do, wonderful. And these take quantum disks, silicon, and basic wafers, which thankfully now quantum disks shouldn't be a problem anymore because we have the cloth rates needed for estimation circuits. So I should probably also increase these buffers to maybe 4 stacks apiece. All this stuff is now basically free, so there's no reason not to, right? Well, I guess except for thaumium, but thaumium's not too bad. So the other thing about this is obviously these quantum disks, which are now quite cheap, the silicon, which is very cheap, and these runes, but we have these runes passive, so that's not too bad either. We just can't make more than 2 stacks of wafers at a time. Except for the elephant in the room, of course. Rainbow tablets. It's a lot. And I imagine we're going to need a lot of basic, advanced, solar, and etc. Each circuit fabricator recipe uses a rainbow tablet for 16 of these wafers. And we do have passive purified tablets, so we can have, at any given point, 32 rainbow tablets on a moment's notice. And I forget if I talked about this, but oh, what's that doing there? That's concerning. Anyway, I forget if I talked about this, but I added this to tier 6, so now we have rainbow slates here. So now we have all of these fully passived, except for the fact that we make a perfect slate every so often. We don't particularly need these very often. I think we only need 4 ever, if that. So that's going to be a little bit problematic if we have this issue whenever we fill up on rainbow slates, because, I mean, obviously we want to fill up on rainbow slates, right? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how we go about solving this problem, actually. So maybe it's just something I'll check on until I have a better solution. Oh, one day the rains will stop. Also, now that we have all the mystical agriculture stuff, I think we should probably decommission some of these farms quite soon. I've taken out quite a lot from the second layer especially. Potatoes just aren't here anymore, rice isn't here anymore. We don't need either of those because we already have a way of getting sugar and potatoes now. But things like the roots crops we still do need, so I'll probably move Moonglow down here, and then this area up here will probably need some reworking. I believe Chorus Fruit is now accessible with end seeds. I'm almost positive Netherwort is. I believe we actively make Slime and Mineral, so we could probably get rid of almost everything on this top row here. So probably between cuts at some point you'll notice that this section's empty, and this section's full, and this section's empty, and that means I finally got around to doing something. That is a very tall dark oak tree. I also added a little bit more to the rocket silo over here. I like these spikes, I think they helped quite a lot. Anyway, let's go automate some circuit fabrication. So firstly, we're going to do the same thing we do every time we get a new toy to look at, and see how its slots interact with things. Now I recall power goes in on the left side, which is fine. I do like these little slots at the front, so I might just have these spaced out or something, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, let's see how this all works. So let's say I want to make some basic wafers. Can I just throw all this stuff in and it figures it out? So if I throw all this stuff in a mostly random order... Wow, and it's very smart. Wow, it's very smart. Okay, that's wonderful. Wow, great, okay. Can it go in from the top? Wow, this machine is great. Well, besides the fact that it's power limited to the left side only, but beyond that, this is very impressive. I am using the Devil's Conduit for a little bit here. It's only 4 blocks though, so it should be fine. So we should be able to request each of these now. So one basic, advanced, yes, okay, that makes sense. Maybe we should get some more of these blood orbs then. Oh, actually it didn't put this in the right spot this time. Oh, I actually don't have an extract, that's probably important. I wonder what size this can extract from. Uh-oh. Well, not from the back. Oh, it's probably the bottom then. Alright, let's try again. Well, I think upsettingly we're just gonna do this. It takes all the life out of it, but, well, it works, and I suppose that puts the life in it, right? We also do get to avoid using the ME conduit, which is maybe a good thing in the long run. Alright, so now let's try requesting some more of these wafers. It still does this. Oh, actually, I wonder if, that's a case of the pattern being strange. Let me go change that. Wow, that actually did it. I didn't think it would. So for context, I had the pattern set up like this. You actually specifically want the two separate items here. Strangely, Galacticraft is really smart, which, hey, I won't complain. And it saves me having to set up a renaming recipe. Makes everything faster. So next we need to make the compressor and electric compressor respectively. So this is very slow, but once we go to the moon, we'll be able to make a much faster one. So this is the compressor recipe, but I did set up one before. Can I just say make me 7? What are we missing? Compression reagents. Wait, okay, that's just a recipe we're missing then. A very doable one though. Beyond that, it looks like we can make everything. I'm starting to think some of these things we should probably put on passive, like tin plates and copper gears. I don't exactly know what these go into. I suppose the compressors, or the compactors? Yeah, these. Yeah, we should probably throw these on passive while we're waiting for all this stuff, because this is going to take a little while. Looks like all of our compressors are ready to be made though. So next we want to probably passive the copper, iron, tin, aluminum, and steel. And then we're going to need another one for the bronze, and another one for the heavy-duty plates, which is why we made 7 of these. Now my question is, if items are input, does it be smart? I don't know if it's going to automatically put things in the right slots. I suppose there's only one way to find out. We're also going to want to passive these various sheet metals. So if any of those plates aren't automated, I guess we're doing that now as well. Sheet metal's done. So let's see, if I want to make some compressed copper, how smart is this going to be? If I just toss these in, what happens? No, very dumb. Very, very dumb. Well, that's problematic. I suppose what I could do is maybe I could do something like this, and then constantly fill it, and just make sure this never runs empty. I suppose that would work. Kind of like vanilla shulker box systems. I suppose that would work. We'll give that a try and see if that gives us issues. We don't need these for forever, and something tells me that we will make all of these things faster than we make compressed copper. Alright, so I think I've got it all set up. We have the pattern set in each of these, and hopefully they just don't run out. Except for these last two, we haven't set these ones yet because we need plates for each of these. So if I just hook up some cabling, I think good things should just happen. I hear lots of clanging. That's good. Let's also set these drawers. We should probably also not have these at 32. I feel like 8 stacks of each is probably good. Maybe even just 4 for right now. I don't want to waste too many galactic ingots or plating, so that's my main concern. It seems like the interface can keep up in terms of speed and resupply though. So next we want to grab tin and copper and place them here. And it looks like the limited item filter works here just fine. That's good. And this one almost works. We need these pieces a little bit moved over. Like this. There we go. This is going to be a little awkward to get the hang of to start, I think. We also need, oh, I guess that's going to be a problem is... Well, no, if these all remain filled, then that's okay. Yes, I think we're fine. So let's take these heavy-duty plates and put them there. And is that a quest? Oh, it is! Yay! Alright, while we listen to all that wonderful clanging, let's look at what the future holds. So we need a satellite builder. Oh, that's a little pricey. Most of the stuff isn't too bad, but that is 6 Dark Solarium thrusters. What about something like a NASA workbench? Just heavy-duty plates. A cubic cluster level 5? Oh, these canisters? These aren't too bad. We do need to autocraft Everfull urns. And once again, I am rewarded for making a stack of unending bowls back in Chapter 4. These I don't think we're going to put on passive. These are certainly autocraft only, especially considering, well, they take unending bowls. So let's do a little bit of crafting. A lot of these things are just going to be like recipes, and I don't think you need to see every individual step along the way here. A lot of these are just components, I think. Yeah, like the satellite module, we just need some of these for the builder to get the satellite or something. I don't know. I haven't really played with Galacticraft since 1.6, so a lot of this is quite new to me. These things are driving me crazy. You would think a limited item filter that says if there's 48 sheet metal, don't put more in, would not put more in if there's more than 48 sheet metal. Unfortunately, you'd be wrong. Like, this one just isn't even inserting any galactic plating because, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it. But the moment I do that, it realizes that there's 64 in here, and it's filtered for 32. Why is it doing that? I don't... An enigma. Truly an enigma. Alright, so we did a lot of crafting, and the last thing before we can go to the moon are these few quests here. So we have a new multi-block to make. This is the Liquid Crafter. We're going to need a few of these over the course of the remainder of the pack, and it's a little big, and quite expensive too. We need reinforced basically everything, as well as these reinforced machine casings, and well, we need about a stack of these, which is going to be about 4 stacks of heavy-duty plating and compressed iron, which is a lot. I also found out that apparently the shape doesn't really matter in compressors. You can just do this, and it's okay with that. I don't know if that matters at all, but you can do it. We also need a few of these machine vents per craft, and these are quite expensive. 4 oxygen vents per machine vent, and we need, I think, 8 per crafter. So we need 32 oxygen vents. So we need 2 stacks of filter upgrades, which is 2 stacks of these blank dark steel upgrades, which is why I've put them on passive, so now we have enough for 2 liquid crafters at any given time, which is hopefully enough. It better be enough. So I put all the components into this paper here, so let's see what it takes to craft. Another 2 or so stacks of heavy-duty plates, a couple more pieces of compressed iron, and a machine vent recipe. Okay, well, that is probably going to change the math a little bit. Okay, so now let's see what it costs. A little bit more compressed iron, but that's not too bad. And 2 stacks of compressed steel, which we don't have. That's it, though? Like, for the whole thing? I must say I'm quite surprised. Alright, well, let's fix some buffers, I suppose. Well, like, 30 minutes later, we can finally request the entire thing. It'll only take another 30 minutes before that comes through. We do still need the blueprint, however, but for the most part, this seems quite cheap. Yep, here we go. So once everything shows up in here, we will be 1 liquid crafter richer. And we're ready. And claim a whole stack of heavy-duty plates. Very nice. So we're going to need quite a few of these in the eventually, but for right now, we only really need the 1 for Galacticraft. So I'm going to set it in here. I think on the side here is a fine spot. Hey, first try. So this actually fits very perfectly into this slot. Fits right in line here, while giving us just enough space to walk around the back here. It's a little funny coming in from this angle, but, you know, that's fine. So next we need to make some oil. So to make oil, we need empowered oil, tree oil, and a basic wafer, and that will give us normal oil. Now, I don't think we need tons of oil, so I don't plan on automating this, at least yet. So we'll just grab like a small tank of empowered oil, tree oil, and the like. We've made basically all of this stuff before. We just have to still this resin that we normally still for rosin, which we should have a bunch of tree oil just backlogged by this point then. Yes, we do, way over here. If you remember way back when, this is what we used in thermal to make that rosin over there for the crafting terminal way back when. So with 10 buckets of empowered oil, 10 buckets of tree oil, and 10 basic wafers, we should be making oil. Yes, here we are. Introducing. So finally we need to refine the fuel into refined fuel. So we just need this refinery here. And we should probably take out a lot of these Galacticraft machines and actually put them over in that other warehouse now. We'll just drag some conduits over because I don't really care. And I think if we just dump in here, yes, it is now refining our fuel. And given that we're actually quite close to having a fueled rocket, we should probably do the things we need to do to go to the moon. So first off, we need this telescope here. And I think these things. So out here we can place a telescope, and we need research paper. So we need to send a satellite into orbit with the builder, which we have, on this satellite rocket, which we also have. So what I think we can do is if we have the satellite controller in the key card, so like if we put this in here, right click on communication dish. What dish? This one? Do I place this? Oh wow. Not only did that not look placeable, that is much more impressive than I ever could have thought it would be. Let's put it on the top here. I bet that would be pretty cool. How about right here? Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So we can right click this dish with this card, and then what? So we put this in here, and then we need to send a satellite into orbit. So we put down the satellite launch pad here. So we put the fuel loader to the left. We put the rocket down here. Oh wow, that is very large and impressive. So I think we just set this in here. Oh, I can put it in an anvil? Ooh, hold on. So this will be Penrose 1. So we just toss this in here, claim our full canister of fuel, and a bucket for the quest. Fuel loader goes on this side, not that side. And we'll just borrow this power cell here, load in some fuel. Oh man, exciting. And I think we're good for launch now. So let's send it. Oh. Oh, I probably should have stood somewhere else. I also kind of wish that cloud wasn't in the way. Well, hopefully that worked, right? Because otherwise that's going to be very awkward. Oh no, it says the satellite worked. Oh yeah, and here we are. We're researching the moon now. Awesome. All right, now while we're researching the moon, there's a few things we should check off our checklist before we, go there. As much as I would like to jump headfirst into space, we shouldn't do that. So let's go through the checklist. We are currently working on discovering the moon, so we'll get to that. We do need to fill up our rocket to the maximum, so I guess we can do that real quick. So we can place this here and fill up this some more. All right, next we should make sure we have all the oxygen stuff. But we do need oxygen tanks, and we don't have those yet. Well, we have them, they're just not full. So to fill them, we need this oxygen collector and a compressor, which can go here. Oh, this is like really upsetting, isn't it? It's like this, and then power here and here. Oh, Galacticraft. Oh, I thought we needed leaves for this, but no, it's quite capable of collecting as much oxygen as it needs. And this is already full, wow. So we can just toss this in, and it will start refilling this tank. Okay, that's pretty easy. Next, they recommend an additional filled fuel canister. I don't think we need that, I have a different thing in mind. Dungeon locator we have, frequency module we have, food, armor, and weapons we always have, and a builder with a shape quarry. The digital miner will simply be enough, because I said so, and I don't really like the builder very much. See, I don't really like the builder very much because I haven't used it. Anyway, so instead of a return rocket, I plan on using these mechanism teleporters, like we did with the Deep Dark. Alright, and our research paper is done from the moon, so we can put it in this telescope here. Well, the quest just tells me to put this in here, so I guess that'll work. Oh, this is actually very fast. Okay, no, that's fine then. Yep, we have discovered moon. Alright, once more over the checklist. We have discovered the moon. The rocket's fueled. We have an extra fuel loader and a power source, but we don't need that. We have the full oxygen kit, the mask, gear. Yes, we have the mask, the gear, parachute, frequency module, and oxygen. A dungeon locator, let's go grab one of those real quick. We have the frequency module, we have food, weapons, armor, and we always have the digital miner with us. We have the moon teleporter set here, and so I think we are just about good to go. That's a little nerve-wracking, I gotta be honest. I meant to set up like a little airlock system there, but, I just didn't get around to it. I'll probably do it later. Well, let's press space. Oh, we have liftoff. Here we go! With our hat sticking out the side a little bit. Quite a lot, actually. And through the cloud again. Okay, so that's the overworld. We could go there. Actually, no, we want to focus on this, right? Yes, overworld moon. Yoop. Ooh, that was cool. Launch. Prepare for entry. You got it. I feel like there was supposed to be like a loud, like rocket noise, right? Well, here we are. Ooh, what was that? A fallen meteor. Yoink. So we can take the stuff out of here. I probably should have grabbed the canister, but that's okay. We have a teleporter. Ooh, what do we have over there? Let's go see what's going on over there. Oh, we have a space enderman. Oh, I should probably actually grab like a weapon, shouldn't I? What do we got down here? Some Phytogrow or Phytogrow. Just a whole lot of Phytogrow. It seems like they're field did really well, especially with the giant hole there. Can I move that oxygen indicator somewhere else? I don't think so, so we're just gonna go without the minimap, I suppose. Anything cool in here? We got cans of food. Yeah, that's just like a supply closet. How about over here? Ooh, those are some goodies. Nice. Ooh, some tier 3 runes is also quite nice. Those canisters I'm a big fan of as well. Nice. Oh, this vacuum glass looks pretty nice. I like how this makes windows. Well, those are worth taking a little peek through, I think. Oh, look, another one. Oh, what's that over there? I bet that's the real moon dungeon. Oh, and it just occurred to me I can put away all the winnings just immediately. Ain't that nice? Oh, there's 2 of those dungeons. And I think that's a moon dungeon. Also, that's not where my portal is? Why is this here? This is not where I put that. I gotta go find that first before I get lost. Alright, so let's go see what's going on over here. Oh yeah, this is all the content tweaker stuff, so that's how you know it's the real deal. I suppose this is where we come in from. 300 health! Oh, I love Vorpal. Yeah, we need to get rid of these spawners and quickly. These guys have way too much HP. Probably also should have respect with Dissidia. Do you guys all have flame bows? That's really messed up if that's true. Oh, what's up here? Oh, a button. A key! So what do we need to do? 3 key fragments from 3 rooms, and then defeat a highly evolved zombie. Alright. This creeper looks like he's about to sell me something behind the counter. The Wonders of the Botanic Garden? So we're missing an O-H-T-R. I don't know if that matters. We got a button though. There was a button here that I missed. Alright, well let's craft a key and see what this holds for me. A whole lot of enemies. The spider's going crazy, look at him. He can't hit me, but I can't hit him. Summon a highly evolved zombie to continue. You got it. Whoa, he is quite quick. He's a little tall, but also whenever he gets caught in the air, it's quite bad for him. Vorpal is such a good enchantment. Alright, well we can use these space rocks for the tier 1 boosters, and I think we only need a handful of these. Oh, is that the sun? That looks so pretty here. Alright, well, we need to find an underground dungeon now. Ah, here we are. Oh, we got a half-full medium oxygen tank from one of those guys. That's kind of nice. Anything cool in here? Life-stealing 2 book? I mean, that's something, but not something I'll be taking. Ooh, blocks. A third blocks. Ooh, a partially filled oil canister I'll take. Ooh, it seems like a boss room. Oh man! Oh man! Oh, tier 2 rocket schematic, nice. And some cheese curds. And a 4th copy of blocks. Oh, I'm a little lightheaded after laughing that hard. Oh man, that was funny. Alright, what else do we need to do around here? So we need some meteoric iron. Oh, we can craft this? With, okay. That's not too terrible. We need some sapphire ore. We need some cheese ore. And then I think we just collect a bunch of that and go back. I suppose we should probably grab one of each of those to filter. I suppose we can also filter for fallen meteors too. Ah, here's cheese ore. And here's sapphire. Alright, and let's go digging. That should be a pretty good amount of cheese and sapphires to start. Let's go home. Oh, you can excavate for cheese and sapphire too. Ooh, that's very tempting. Anyway, let's try and breeze through a few easy things real quick. So let's get some raw meteoric iron. So we need some tier 2 heavy duty plates that are certainly better and not just more expensive. 6 heavy duty plates and 3 compressed meteoric iron, which is, okay, 18 pieces of meteoric iron per 3 plates. That's not the worst thing in the world at least. But what do we need to make the ultimate compressor? Because that's what I actually care about. So we need 12 advanced compressors, and the rest of that is stuff we can make already. So what's an advanced compressor make? Or take? Mostly standard heavy-duty plating, besides the compressed irons, and the cheesy wafers. And it requires us to upgrade our previous compressors, but it doesn't even take the tier 2 plating. So we need 36 pieces of compressed meteoric iron. So what's 36 times 18? Oh, that is not a small number. That is a big number. That's about 10 stacks of meteoric iron. It will be worth it. It will be worth it. It will all be worth it. Well, it seems like the most we get for our cheese ore is 2. If we use a tectonic initiator, we could get 3. Oh, and we actually do have one of those, so I suppose we can run that through here. What about sapphires? Much of the same. It seems like tectonic initiation is the best way. Let's just place all this in here, and all of this in here. Oh, no, 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 we're doing this again! Ah! I'm a fool! Stop, stop, stop! I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like, it's only a 50% difference. Fool that I am. That said, we did get quite a lot already. Let's also go ahead and insert our new schematic. So now we have tier 2 rockets, right? Yes, here we are. Throwable meteor chunk? Yeah, I'm dumb. I'll see what that is. I'll waste money on that. It certainly is throwable. It's a little laggy, though. I wonder how much damage this does. It dealt 3 damage. I mean, it was funny, though. Cheesy automation. Cheesy silicon. So let's make some cheesy wafers for the quest. Alright, and let's finish off today by making the ultimate compressor. All this stuff is quite cheap to make, realistically speaking, except for these 12 advanced compressors. But even this is not really too bad. And with this last piece of paper, very good. Let's put this thing together because this sucked. This was awful. We toss in a bucket of mystic here, and a casing here, and a piece of paper there. Cool. And now all we really need to do is hook this up to AE2. So let's grab an interface here. Alright, well, it doesn't look like much has changed, but that's just because we're using conduit facades. To make things look a little bit neater, I'm just using an interface that pushes into this chest, which pushes up there. So let's add some recipes. Alright, so now what if we want some heavy-duty plating? Let's ask for 20. How fast does this go? Oh, does it still work? Even when... Oh! Well, it seems like the thing we wait longest on is the machine to realize that there's stuff inside. That's pretty fast. It can even accept kind of mixed recipes like this, which is a little surprising, but I'm certainly happy to see that. Yeah, that took maybe 20 seconds or so, 10 to 20 seconds for 20 heavy-duty plates. That's really good. It's on demand instead of passive, but that's fine when it's that fast. What's our reward? 32 modularium? Great. I suppose I can't be that upset. This machine's a reward in and of itself. I think that's where I will call it for today, however. I feel like we did a lot. It certainly feels like I did a lot. Galacticraft takes forever. Looking back at the docket today, we did finish Astral, we did build Galacticraft, we did make galactic machines, boy did I cry, and we did go to the moon. Great! Next time, I imagine we're quite well prepared to rush through the latter half of this chapter, as I imagine the former half was just kind of, well, a lot of these stumbling blocks, like everything involving these plates, getting the infrastructure set up to find planets and the like. Yeah, we are very well set up for next time. I imagine it shouldn't take us too long to get through the remainder of this, and once we're done with that, we'll have access to, 1, I suppose, Elevadium again, but 2, I believe we'll have tier 5 seeds unlocked, if I'm not mistaken, with this laser focus up here. It'll also be a really big and cool multi-block. I know it's a very fancy one. But yeah, I hope to catch you next time once we go and do that. I'll probably clean up a little bit around here. There's a few things that kind of need tidying up around the place, but I, wanted to get this video out. Sorry for the very slow uploads lately. This portion of the pack is getting to the point where things take quite a while, and just kind of I've been busy with things in real life and the like. You probably understand how it is. Anyhow, I hope to catch you next time once we go back to space. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.